Sheree, I want you to write a book. And I was like, no, that's not the plan. But it's so funny because God will just lead you down a different direction when you think to yourself, I'm just not going to write. But so what I ended up doing was I submitted my first book to a publishing company. I didn't self-publish. I just went out on faith and submitted, and the publishing company picked me up. So then after that, I decided to co-author my second book, 20 Beautiful Women, with 19 women from around the world. And we all shared our stories of our trials and our tribulations, which ended up turning into a sisterhood. So now I done developed this relationship with 19 other women from all over the world. We have this great bond based on all the things that we have went through and have overcome. We're business owners. We have college degrees. I mean, some of the women have overcome being homeless, rape, physical abuse. And I just want to read a portion of my chapter, which is called Destined for Greatness, because I didn't know that I would become an author. I didn't know that I would start 2 businesses. I have Sheree Parker for Young Women 16 to 25, and all of that came about as a desire to give back to my community. You know, growing up in Southwest Philly, we didn't have a lot of programs available for youth, especially African Americans. We didn't have the programs. We didn't have the resources. So I thought putting it back in my community where I can service these young women who need career development, who need personal development, who need that guidance, who need that support, that clarity, so they can get out there and do great things as well. So I'm going to read a portion. He transformed my life because of the trust and the faith that I had in him. And it's hard, you know, starting a business. You know, it's a lot of sacrifices. And I can just remember certain things I used to do, like traveling I couldn't do because I had to put all my money into building that business, one business at a time. Also, I had to give up, you know, my purpose. They didn't understand my passion, and I had to let some relationships go. You know, but one thing that remained consistent was my faith in God and him leading me in the right path. And sometimes it's hard to hear what God wants you to do and the path that you want to go, because you have so many people in your ear. But the hardest thing for me was moving forward with so many distractions, and I'm just thankful that I was able to stay faithful, you know, during the different points in my life. And I have another book coming out. It's called Be a Queenpreneur. It's a women's guide to entrepreneurship, which will release on October the 24th. So you can get that information on my website, www.shereeparkercoaching.com.
My program is implemented in several schools, Blackeslee, Robert Morris, Girard College, currently at Martha Washington, Acacia Middle School, and several other cities, and a couple shelters in the city of Philadelphia as well. I started a global campaign called I Am Global Campaign, which is making self-affirmations. And since it was for my girls initially, but I'm like, girls and boys can do this. And not just ages 8 through 18, but younger kids as well. So, I was just sitting on my computer one night and decided I want to do a book. I want to do something different, so I decided to do a coloring book. I talked to 2 graphic artists, and they took pictures of kids that I actually knew. One is in here right now, Jaden, so kind of famous now, Jaden, and turned their pictures into cartoons. So from that, each page is called the I Am coloring book. It's one for girls and one for boys. And each page has an affirmation with the child on it. I am fearless, I am bold, I am strong, I am courageous, I'm wise, I am powerful. Because you watch these videos of parents with clips of their kids singing all these songs off the radio, but can't count, can't say the ABC and anything else. So why not start saying, I am strong, I am powerful, making self-declarations at a young age? That's pretty much what inspired me to do the book. And we also have t-shirts, which I'm wearing right now, for I Am, as you can see. And it says, wealthy, change, bold, all the way around. It's actually a baseball tee that we sell on our website, and the proceeds go to our organization. And also, we've done several book bag drives. We have a drive going on right now, the Hygiene Drive, which is collecting toiletries for homeless youth from now until December 31st, and on MLK they will pack them up as a service learning project and provide lunch as well. So the proceeds from the book go to providing book bags, hygiene kits, and other things for our program. So that's all I have. Any questions? I have business cards as well for our website on there. I have the books in the back. So.
Where can we reach you or find more about your organization?
Oh, on the website, www.empoweredgeneration.org. I can give you all the business card. And on Instagram, @empowerme_. And it's also on Facebook, Empower Me.
And we have partnerships with 2 schools within the school district, the youth school at 7th and Norris and Bethune Elementary School in Old York Road. As of right now, we have an in-class workshop component of our organization, and we're also in the process of establishing our one-on-one mentoring program for students of color so that they can see that there are college students that look just like them that have actually pursued a post-secondary career in getting an education, ultimately goal setting. So, all right. So my book is called It Takes Two. The premise of the story is the story highlights 2 teenagers, Julius Redding and Tamara Fields. 2 were raised in an inner city neighborhood similar to Philadelphia, and Julius grew up with a psychologically abusive father. He struggled with controlling his anger and things like that. And ultimately, he found that football was a way out. Football was a way to channel his anger onto something positive, and he actually got a full scholarship to Truth University in Washington, D.C. This is a university that I made up just while I was writing this. And ultimately, his friend, Tamara Fields, was actually a childhood friend, his best friend throughout his childhood and adolescence. And ultimately, they ended up hooking up in college, spur of the moment type thing, and he got her pregnant. Now, Julius, he's on track to go to, possibly the NFL. He wants to go pro. Something that he often said growing up was, his father would come in and out of his life as a psychologically abusive father, Dad, it takes 2. You're supposed to be here to raise me. You're supposed to love me, show me this type of attention. And he remembers telling Tamara this throughout his life. He told Tamara that my father, he's a bad father, and I kept telling him it takes 2. So, 5, 6 years later, when he gets Tamara pregnant, she goes on like, hey, we have to take care of this kid. He said, no, I'm not ready to be a father. Ultimately, because I want to go to the league. I can't do that. I can't be a father. As much as you may want me to be there, and I want to be there, but I can't because I have dreams and aspirations. And ultimately, they sent a series of letters during hurricane, which is similar to Hurricane Katrina around that time. They sent a series of text messages and things like that, and he's not with it. The baby's born. The baby has mental disability, and he said, I can't take care of the kid. And ultimately, the last letter Tamara wrote to Julius says, I know you may not be ready to raise a father as much as you want to be, but Julius, please remember it takes 2. And with that, he packed up his belongings. He actually reflected on it and said, you know what, I have to be the man my father never was, and he actually ended up going to raise his child. But something that I did want to read was a brief excerpt from chapter 8 from the book, and it says, playing football was a hobby, a favorite pastime that involved legally being allowed to hit somebody. The field was a safe spot. Whenever he attended practice, he didn't feel hopeless or vulnerable to the world's pressures. Whenever he was inside the gates of Russell Stadium, it never occurred to him that there were people around him down the street that targeted boys like him. There were people who had nothing better than to rob and kill a young man who was making a name for himself. After practice, team members usually caught a ride to the main avenue so they wouldn't have to walk through the Heights South Side after dark. Julius knocked on Coach Pitt's door as the 4 boys were already packed tightly in the back seats. Coach? Yeah, can I get in? If there's room, the coach answered plainly. Julius tried to become the 5th man to squeeze in the back of the car. Man, you can't fit, said a teammate. I'm going to have to, he said, trying to figure out how. He steps out the car, puts one hand on the roof, sizing up his inconvenient situation. There ain't any room left, said a kid supporting his friend's earlier statement. Julius realized begging to get a ride just to avoid people who give him goosebumps isn't making him look manly. He changes the way he feels about the situation and steps away from the car. Yeah, whatever, Julius said, snatching his bag from the other guy's lap. I got you. He walked to the bus stop at the corner. The streetlights glared upon the moist fall pavement as the moon hung so far away he was almost sure he couldn't see him. The night air was cooler than the day before, maybe because yesterday he caught a ride. An eerie mood filled the atmosphere of the block. There were radios playing somewhere in the distance, perhaps at the in-house, and car engines were heard over the rooftops and people laughing. It was the kind of mood that had you thinking about your family's life without you. Yes, there were times in which he wished he were dead, at least going along for long enough for his mother to miss him, though tonight no such thought entered his mind. Across the street, men in hooded sweatshirts stood by the corners. It was weird how they seemed to appear in twos, especially in uncanny circumstances. With the slightest movement, they disappeared into the thin air of this particular Thursday night. His immobility and vulnerability kept him company until the bus arrived. He climbed on board just as the clock turned 7. Student trains passes became inactive at this time, and he had no money to pay his way. He stood looking at the bus driver with a look of emptiness and desire for act of kindness to be granted towards him. It was the same face he made while listening to his father's words curse his life on the last day he saw his face. Thank you.
And so people would say to me, Sheree, you should write a book. And I was like, no, that's not the plan. But it's so funny because God will just lead you down a different direction when you think to yourself, I'm just not going to write. But so what I ended up doing was I submitted my first book to a publishing company. I didn't self-publish. I just went out on faith and submitted, and the publishing company picked me up. So then after that, I decided to co-author my second book, 20 Beautiful Women, with 19 women from around the world. And we all shared our stories of our trials and our tribulations, which ended up turning into a sisterhood. So now I didn't develop this relationship with 19 other women from all over the world. We have this great bond based on all the things that we have went through and have overcome. We're business owners. We have college degrees. I mean, some of the women have overcome being homeless, rape, physical abuse. And I just want to read a portion of my chapter, which is called Destined for Greatness, because I didn't know that I would become an author. I didn't know that I would start 2 businesses. I have Sheree Parker for Young Women 16 to 25, and all of that came about as a desire to give back to my community. You know, growing up in Southwest Philly, we didn't have a lot of programs available for youth, especially African Americans. We didn't have the programs. We didn't have the resources. So I thought putting it back in my community where I can service these young women who need career development, who need personal development, who need that guidance, who need that support, that clarity, so they can get out there and do great things as well. So I'm going to read a portion. He transformed my life because of the trust and the faith that I had in him. And it's hard, you know, starting a business. You know, it's a lot of sacrifices. And I can just remember certain things I used to do, like traveling I couldn't do because I had to put all my money into building that business, one business at a time. Also, I had to give up, you know, my purpose. They didn't understand my passion, and I had to let some relationships go. You know, but one thing that remained consistent was my faith in God and Him leading me in the right path. And sometimes it's hard to hear what God wants you to do and the path that you want to go, because you have so many people in your ear. But the hardest thing for me was moving forward with so many distractions, and I'm just thankful that I was able to stay faithful, you know, during the different points in my life. And I have another book coming out. It's called Be a Queenpreneur. It's a women's guide to entrepreneurship, which will release on October the 24th. So you can get that information on my website, www.shereeparkercoaching.com.